Welcome to our very first episode of the Kenya Airlift Program Show. Here, we bring you fascinating stories of our beneficiaries and paint a picture of their remarkable experiences in the journey from their villages all the way to the land of opportunities in pursuit of the American dream. In our show today, we bring you an amazing story of David Ngang'a. You have heard that it takes a village to raise a child, and therefore we bring you this story right from a village popularly known as Modern Village in Lanet, Nakuru County, all the way to Grand Valley State University to study a Master of Science in Cybersecurity. Later in the show, we will focus to Grand Valley State University in our deep dive segment. It is a bright sunny day here in Nakuru County. We arrive at David Ngang'a's home, and together with his mom and dad, they gladly come to receive us.
Yes. Poa sana.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, welcome.
Finally.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm very excited because it's a first experience in so many ways.
Yeah.
First, I've never been on a plane. It'll be my first experience.
Yeah.
I've never been to the US. It's my first experience to be there.
With us was Bob Mwiti, who was the program's guinea pig and is now the program's senior business development manager.
Yes.
Thank you, Sam.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Wilfred.
Wilfred?
Yeah.
Yes, you are welcome.
I'm the one who has been taking care of these people so much,
Yes.
especially in this journey.
We have been hearing about
Yeah.
Wilfred. We have been longing to see you.
Thank you so much.
Eh.
We are very glad to be finally here
Yeah.
to document a story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wilfred has been at the forefront of guiding students enrolled in the program through the process of complying, relocating, and successfully settling in the USA. David's delightful parents welcome us inside the house. As we catch up, his dad is quick to inform us of his determination to live his American dream, and he thanks God for remembering his son, enabling him sail through all the stages successfully. He further tells us that his achievement has inspired David's sister and fellow age mates to join the award-winning program, some who never knew of its existence and others who had not made up their minds on joining. David is 5 days away from relocating to the US, and we engaged him to have a glimpse of his experiences in this whole journey.
I started my schooling at a place called Elbagon in Molo constituency. So in fact, that's where I was born. So I studied there up to class 4. From there I went to Molo Academy Primary School. That's in Molo now, Molo town. So I studied there up to 2010 when I did my KCPE. I got 383 marks. From there I joined Koilel High School. It's in Gilgil constituency in Nakuru County still. So I did from Form 1 up to Form 4. I finished Form 4 in 2014. I got an A- of 76 points. Yeah, from there I joined Technical University of Mombasa. I studied a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Computer Science. I graduated in 2019 November, and since then I've been working as a software developer in various companies. Initially I was employed on 8-5 job, but then I decided to venture into freelance development.
How did David come to know of this life-changing program?
So I learned about the Kenya Airlift program through my employer, the guy who had employed me back in 2019. So he came across the advert on Facebook and he shared it with me. So I was at first obviously I was a bit skeptical but then when I researched,
was in 2019?
No, it was in 2020 November.
2020.
Yeah. So I decided to first of all do some research about the whole program. So I was consulting Bob mostly and DMK, and when I was confident about the program, I enrolled last year.
The GMAT exam is among the greatest fears students have, but not even failing in his first attempt could deter him from pursuing the American dream. He reserved the GMAT, and at this point, his hard work paid off as he attained the pass mark required by the program.
In my first time I sat last year, October 14th. That time I got a 510 out of the maximum. So once I went back to the drawing board. Now I studied, I took a break for a bit up to December last year now, since October when I sat for that first attempt. This year, January, I resumed and I studied January, February, March 14 this year. I went and did my second attempt, and I was successful. So I got a 560, and I was able to meet the minimum requirement for the program. Overall, I'm excited about it. It will also be my first time out of the country. Actually, I've not traveled out of Kenya. The farthest I've gone is Mombasa, where I was doing my undergraduate. So it will be a first for me as well. And as we all know, America is a first world country. So I'm obviously very curious to see how do those people live, how is life there. So I'm excited to also experience that.
The GMAT exam wasn't the only challenge David had to face. He had to make it through the visa interview, and he did it successfully.
I met 2 interviewers that day. There were 2 visa officers who were doing the interviews inside the visa hall interview. So I got in. I went to a young lady who was there interviewing us, and I was actually quite frightened when I was on the line, because the 2 guys who were in front of me were actually denied the visa. So I got shocked. I wondered, hey, what is this? So I composed myself, and then I went. So the funny thing with those visa officers, sometimes you don't really hear what they are saying because they use an English you are not used to. So I went there. I had to ask them to pardon and to repeat the question a bit, and then so I was asked a few questions, and I was able to answer them to the satisfaction of the visa officer. And then eventually she gave me the blue slip, which is usually an indication that you have actually succeeded in the visa interview. So I was really excited. In fact, whatever she told me after that about, go and pick your passport at DHL, and so much information she gave me after that, I couldn't even remember anything. I was so excited.
Having made it this far, David at this point knew he was closer to the American dream than ever before. But how did her mom receive the news of success in the visa interview?
So when I got my phone back, I quickly called them and I informed them. In fact, my mom here was dancing around and she was very happy about it. I also told my dad and my sister, and they were both happy for me. And when I came back, at least we thanked God for that. It was a really great achievement.
Having been supported by his parents all through this journey, David is grateful to them.
And so my parents, they've been very supportive, and I'm very happy about it. And my prayer is that God blesses them and gives them the time to experience the great things that we'll be able to achieve together, courtesy of what I've achieved currently.
And the founders of the program, he has a special message for them.
I want to say a special thank you to Bob Mwiti, DMK, yourself, and the many other staff on the Kenya Lift program. Actually, I couldn't have been here were you not as supportive as you are. When I got stuck, I'd text you, sometimes calling, and you were always available to answer, to guide, and to assist. And I was able to go through that journey because of that support I got from the program. And even for you sitting down and coming up with such a program, you are really inspiring so many people here in Kenya. Yeah, we know so many graduates are struggling, even after taking some prestigious courses. They are still struggling here, but through your program, everybody has a place in it. As long as they qualify for the requirements that you have set, they are able to benefit and they are able to go through that journey together. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful for you. And my prayer is that God blesses you in all your endeavors.
We are happy with the progress that he's making and changing his life. And when we heard about it, I think we were excited. We knew that this is what we have been longing for. And it was a God-sent news that there was such a program. And so when David came, we were happy. And we told him there was no need of now looking for any other job. Your program is a game changer. It's helping so many children who never thought that in their lives they will ever get to America. With your program, one is very certain that you're in the right hands, that the people will take care of your child. Your program is actually well organized, and whoever is joining it is sure that he's going to change his life. Yeah. So this is one program which is filling that gap. And whoever came up with this idea, he must have been sent by God. It was a God sent. You are going to change so many lives, and God just bless you. In fact, we are missing word to thank you for it, because you've done it so well. You've changed lives, because we have been seeing and hearing how some are working in United States, and United States is not any other place. It's a land of opportunities, and David will also be among those numbers, and I'm sure many others will join, and they will get a lot of help from this program.
We are very, very happy to see that this program is taking care of every Kenyan across the country. You are watching the Kenya Airlift Program Show, brought to you by the Kenya Airlift Program. The Kenya Airlift Program is an award-winning initiative that helps brilliant Kenyan students achieve the dream of studying in the US regardless of their financial background. You can find all our programs by going to www.kenyaairliftprogram.com. The Kenya Airlift Program, passion led us here.
David has been a good boy. He's an obedient boy and very hardworking. Right from nursery school, he has been hardworking. He has made us proud. He went to a school in Gilgil, and I think that's the time I felt most happy, because he got an A-, and I think in this home we had not gotten that grade.
How did her mom receive the news of success in the visa interview?
We were so grateful, because we didn't know that he would make it. He had told us about many others who had not passed this visa interview. So when he passed the visa interview, I was so happy, and I wouldn't even. I was so grateful. I would like him to go so that he can make his life better, because being here is not just okay. Because he has stayed since he graduated in 2019, he has not had a job that is stable. We pray that God guides him and protects him when he's there, and when he goes there, I pray that he works very hard, so that when he comes back here, if he wishes to come back, he'll put an impact in the community around him.
David joined us the following day for our December 2022 Biannual luncheon at KICC. He was among over 50 students who were celebrated by the program as they relocated to the US for the spring semester. Indeed, it was an auspicious event. Take a look.
A round of applause while all of us are standing, because this is a standing ovation for all of them. Your time is going to come. Tafadhali, makofi sasa.
What a joy seeing these dreams get fulfilled. Indeed, America is a land of many opportunities.
We have started the savings scheme, the one that Bob introduced. That savings scheme is ideal for anyone who has just completed Form 4. Your friends, their relatives, anyone who has completed Form 4, even students in campus. There are those students who say, I will not be able to pay to raise the $1,100 up front to go through the Kenya Airlift program. This one is for them, because you go to the website, you create your own account, you start saving as little as $1. Then you save to once joining the Kenya Airlift and going to the US by the time you graduate from university. So if you know you have just a C+ from high school, then you can start saving on that platform to once going after you graduate your degree. So the savings plan is to help those who have just completed high school to be working towards going to the United States, even as they go through their studies here in Kenya.
The program's mission is achieved through key partnership with Qatar Airways, who offer discounted relocation air tickets to the students. Through a partnership with KCB Bank, beneficiaries will immensely benefit from their amazing products.
Apart from even the loans, there's so much that this country you can do in the line of investments. We have fixed deposits, we have treasury bills, we have treasury bonds, we have so much that you can invest in. And KCB, we have the business advisory services. We are there to advise you. We have a 24-hour contact center that is there to support you guys.
The program negotiates amazing deals for students such as GTAs. Wilfred Mwiti benefited from such a GA in University of Alabama. He didn't have to pay a dime for tuition fees, and he instead was paid a stipend through a graduate assistantship. Isn't this amazing?
The second semester, my professor came and told me, you know what, we are just giving you full assistantship. And from there now, I didn't have to pay a coin for my cost of studies and living expenses at the school.
This segment promises to take a deep dive into the best universities for international students through our program. Take a look. Located in Allendale and Grand Rapids in Michigan, Grand Valley State University was established in 1960 as Grand Valley College. Its main campus is situated on 1,322 acres, approximately 12 miles of Grand Rapids. GVSU has a population of more than 20,000 undergraduate students and about 3,000 postgraduate students. The acceptance rate at the university is 87.5%. The yearly out-of-state tuition fees is $14,030. In this great institution, student loans can be acquired from Empower Financing, which is the program's official lending partner. To qualify for the Kenya Airlift program at this school, one must be willing to study the following courses: Master of Science in Applied Statistics, Master of Science in Cybersecurity, Master of Science in Data Science and Analytics, Master of Science in Health Informatics and Bioinformatics, Master of Science in Applied Computer Science, Master of Science in Engineering, MS Accounting, and MBA. David eagerly anticipated for 21st of December 2022, the day he would be leaving the country for the US. He was joined by his family and the program manager Wilfred Mwiti to see him off at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. This was David's first time on a plane. It was an entirely new and an amazing experience for him. He had a layover in Qatar from JKIA before continuing his journey to Texas, then North Carolina, and finally Michigan, which was his destination.
So my experience was quite interesting because first of all, it was my first time on a plane, so I was a bit excited and a bit tense because I didn't know what to expect. But I was supposed to arrive here on the 22nd of December, but apparently there was a blizzard at that time here in Michigan, so we had some few flight cancellations, and I arrived on the 24th of December. So I was to come through Chicago at that time, but due to the blizzard there were some changes in my flight, so I came in through Dallas, Texas, and I stayed there for like an extra day because we had to wait for the weather to be quite better before I could come over. So it took longer than I had expected, and I still enjoyed because I got to really spend a lot of time there at the airport. In fact, at Dallas I met a Kenyan who we were able to have some few we were able to like talk over a cup of coffee there, and he was able to like welcome me here, and it was a pretty exciting experience, and I'm glad that I was able to arrive here safely, and I'm settling in well.
David was aware that the weather would be difficult to manage, and for this reason, he was well prepared to ensure he was comfortable.
Well, the weather is, I can say it's a bit warm right now. In fact, there was a time it was very cold. Like that time when I was arriving, it was really cold, and I remember I even wondered, wow, I've never really felt like that since I was born. And as I settled in over time, I've started getting used to it. So right now I am no longer like experiencing the difficulties or the challenges I had initially.
Without knowing anyone in his new home, David didn't have any reason to get worried, for the Kenya Airlift program always makes arrangements for students to be picked from the airport once they land and are guided until they settle in.
At the airport, on the night of 24th, because that's when we arrived at Gerald Ford Airport here at Grand Rapids, it was a bit stormy. The weather was not back to normal, like the way people could drive. So the guy who was to pick me up told me that it was better to come with an Uber because there are those Ubers that are actually able to cope with that weather. So I was able to come with an Uber all the way to here. They were able to send me an address where I could come and get settled in. So when I came, they picked me up at the gate, and we were able to come, and they were able to show me my room, and I was able to move in, and they helped me to settle down.
He tells us that he had a great first time in America, which exceeded his expectations.
It has surpassed my expectations. In fact, I was talking to my parents the other day, and I was telling them actually the experience here is out of this world, because you hear of developed countries, but you don't actually know what people mean by developed countries. So I was able to come here, and actually when you go for shopping, where we go for our groceries, the place where you go and you do everything for yourself. They call it the self-service. You do the shopping and you go and scan your stuff. You're able to package your stuff and you leave with them. In Kenya we are used to finding cashiers where you go there counting your things and giving you your bill, and you're able to pay it and they package for you. So here you do everything for yourself, and the mall is very big. In fact, it's a place where you can get lost. So it's a very great experience, and I'm really enjoying it.
His colleagues from different countries were curious about how the many Kenyan students had managed to go there.
They were quite curious, and they were asking us how we are able to do these things, and we told them there is a nice program that is able to assist us with the whole process. And they were very intrigued by how the whole thing works, because at least you see, when you get here you are not lost. You come, you find a community of students who have come in the past. They are able to receive you, they are able to guide you, and they help you to settle down and to see how to move about. The people here are very friendly, by the way, and you are able to interact with them very easy. In my class we are only Africans. We are 7. We are 5. We came 7, but some are doing a different course. So we are 5 in the class that I'm taking, and we are all Kenyans. The others are Indians and a few white people.
Amazingly, he has got himself an on-campus job that's helping him cover his living expenses.
Yeah, there are some jobs that are offered here within the campus by the institution, especially to international students. And they are good jobs because at least they help you to have money to cater for your bills, and it's actually very convenient because you still work within the campus, so you don't have to incur a lot of expenses, maybe in traveling and going to very far places to get that job. So I think it's convenient, and you're able to at least sort your bills.
Accommodation is one of the challenges that international students always encounter, but the Kenya Airlift program provides support to help them overcome it.
I was able to talk to those guys who had already come initially or previously before I came. So I was able to reach out to them before I came here, and they were able to link me up with those guys who have accommodation here. I was able to contact them from Kenya, and we were able to communicate, and they gave me the house. Those guys really helped me.
And now to the kind of culture shock that David experienced in his new home.
Yeah, especially the naming of food. Back at home, when you go to a hotel and you ask for chips, you're actually given the potatoes that are cut in a way that you need. But when you come here and you ask for chips, you'll actually be given what at home we call crisps. Yeah. So here the chips that we know them as chips at home, they are called here fries. So there was a time we went somewhere and we were asking for chips with a certain friend of mine, and they were asking us, is that what you want to eat for lunch? So because they were shocked, here that's a snack. So there are those things that you have to adapt. And then there is that tendency where when you go for shopping, you want to look at the price tag on an item, and you want to start converting it to Kenya shillings, and you see how much it's worth. So there are those things that you try to do, and you feel like some things are very expensive here, but it's because maybe you are doing so many calculations on the same. But I'll say it's been we are still adapting. We'll adapt slowly and we'll get there.
And with that, we come to the end of our first episode of the Kenya Airlift Program show. From the Kenya Airlift Program, we wish David all the best as he sets out on his journey to pursue his dreams in the land of opportunities. You have been watching the Kenya Airlift Program show, brought to you by the Kenya Airlift Program. Come back again next time for more fascinating stories of our beneficiaries as we take you through their journey right from their villages to the USA in pursuit of the American dream.